Hello everybody, bienvenido a todo. Welcome to Vabrut with me, Vabrut, and like always we are in Train Sim World, this being Train Sim World 4, and we are playing the recently released London Overground route, which is Gospel Oak to Barking Riverside. I don't know if the route DLC has an official name, it might be Goblin for Gospel Oak to Barking, which is like its semi-official name, but it's also now known as the Suffragette line because TfL have given all the overground lines individual names. But we're just going to be running a normal timetable service from Gospel Oak to Barking Riverside. And it's in the Bombardier Class 710, which is a 4-car EMU. So we shall get ready. Doors open. Panel open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Normal. Yes, okay. Is there anything else here? Go on. Right. So we are at Gospel Oak right now, and this is the end of the line for us. Well, the start of the line. It's just a single platform for the Goblin, and then the other side is the North London line. So this is AI only. So this is a where the train links up with these trains go off to Richmond and Clapham Junction and Stratford, and we end here, and then we go off towards Barking in the east. Oh look, you can see the skyline of London. Are we that far? Like, and that's Canary Wharf, I guess. Doesn't look very like. Oh no, it does. Yeah, it's got all the new skyscrapers that ruin the symmetry that used to have. Are these lights on properly? Yes, they are. Doors close themselves after a while. Yes, so these aren't the actual trains that run on the North London line, but they're using this train for the AI traffic, which is fair enough. It keeps the line feeling busy, and I think there's a freight train coming up behind us as well. I saw on the map. Yeah, there it is. But we shall. Oh, I should really have draw on. Oh God, this bloody. Why does it do that? And now I will turn it off so we can go. we got a slow saunter out of here because we got a restricted speed limit while we cross the tracks. There we go. Yep. So this is North London, basically. This is sort of northwest London, and the end is very much East London, and we sort of curve around the centre as we go. So we won't this line itself goes nowhere near the centre. Possibly like we're closer to the centre than will be at any other point in this route. It passes through areas like Leighton and Holloway and Haringey, which are sort of like staples of North London. I think it basically runs from Zone 2 to Zone 3, that kind of place. It never goes into Zone 1. It's not like the East London line. That runs through Shoreditch and Hoxton. Very much. Is Hoxton Zone 1? I think the Hoxton might be on the Zone 1-2 border, but Shoreditch is very much Zone 1. And I'm not sure about Whitechapel. Oof. So this line is fully overhead electric, although these trains are dual voltage, so they can run on third rail electric as well. Because I think they use these same units on the Euston lines to Watford, or maybe I'm imagining that. They must use them somewhere because otherwise there'll be no point in having the third rail added. But they are, because I think they also use them on the Liverpool Street to Enfield and Cheshunt runs. So this line was very recently electrified. The North London line was always electrified. So the line that we joined up with, we saw at the start, that was always electrified. But this was left unelectrified for many years. In fact, when I first moved to London in 2008, I think it still had the like Class 150s running on it. So they were like just a little bit past the thing. So the Class 150s were like old Silverlink. That used to be the franchise that ran it before London Overground. And then they brought in some turbo stars. Kind of like the 170 on the on the 5 Circle line, same model of train, but it was only 2 carriages, I think. And they used to like run a little service to Barking and back, and then they decided they were going to extend it to Barking Riverside to make some housing development possible. And as part of that, they decided to just rejuvenate the whole line. So these trains are 4 carriages rather than the 2 from the turbo stars, and they and the full line was electrified. And I can't remember if I was still living in London when it was opened as electrified, because I never used this line. Maybe once. I think I may have used it twice. Twice I used this line when I lived in Harringay. It wasn't particularly close or useful. It was just because I think I was going to Hampstead Heath on one occasion, and Gospel Oak is very close to Hampstead Heath. I think it's 1 stop along on the North London line. So I got on at Harringay Green Lanes and took the little turbo star, which is very strange because this train, these have the like longitudinal seating like a tube train or like the other overground trains, but those used to have like the seats you get on like a normal sort of regional train outside of London, where there's like rows of seats. It was very strange. And also very strange just being on a diesel train in London for a commuter service. I know like they did run out of Paddington until very recently, and they still run out of Marylebone. But up to then, like most of my experience have been the tube or the overground or Liverpool Street services. So suddenly being on a diesel train that was like a London Overground was really strange. And then they got rid of them eventually because they replaced them with these. And I think the 378 from London, the North London line, ran on here for a bit while there was a gap. But yeah, this line is sort of I don't know what you sort of like inner suburban, or well, kind of inner, kind of outer. I think it basically skirts between zone 2 and 3 for the most part. It certainly never goes into zone 1. It's a line you could live in London. Like I said, I lived in London for like 10 years and used it twice. It just isn't that kind of. It's very useful if you live on it, but if not, the purpose of it is very. You just wouldn't really use it because it's an orbital route, which many people would never use, because they wouldn't be they would usually be traveling radially. But these are very useful trains to have, actually, these routes. Like the North London line is another orbital route that is great because it skirts you around central London and can get you from east to west, more or less. And this line isn't great for linking up with tubes, unfortunately. Like, it does, technically, I think, link up with the Victoria line at Black Horse Road with a walk. I think Upper Holloway is a shortish walk to the Piccadilly line. I don't know if Wanstead Park or or Leighton High Road have shortish walks to the Central Line. And at Barking, obviously, it does connect with the District Line and the Hammersmith City. But yeah, it's not like the North London Line connects with like a lot because it goes to Stratford, so it connects with pretty much everything. Oh, and there is that's the East Coast Main Line we're passing under now, which does have the full timetable from the East Coast Main Line. So you will see 801s and that was a Thameslink train coming up and down. So yeah, this is like a the timetable is, I think there's one train every 15 minutes, but that does translate into like you'll see a fair few trains on your way. Like I think we've already seen 2, and then we've seen the AI at Gospel Oak as well, and it's I don't know, like it can be tricky to keep up with the timetable because there isn't that much flexibility in it, but it's not super difficult either. What is super difficult is these bloody brakes. They are not as fuck's sake. They are not as responsive as you'd hope. Oh, I should have put them into 3 anyway. My fault anyway. But still, you know, you don't get up to very high speeds. I think 60 miles an hour is the fastest on this route, and I think the trains only go up to like maybe 90, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's only 75. 75, yeah. So it's not like these trains are designed for anything special, and it's not like they'll ever deal with any heavy burdens on this route, because most of the route you trundle along at 30 or 40. And it's a but it's a nice route for back and forth because it's self-contained, similar to say Cathcart Circle or Nidatal Barn, that kind of thing, or the underground route, the Bakerloo line. It's very much like you go, you end. There's nowhere the trains go elsewhere on this route. You're running. You can run the full timetable for hours on end. It is very much that kind of route. So it's good like that. Like you can just stop and turn around and come back. There isn't like obviously it's a commuter line. There isn't that much variety on this line because it is just these trains that run the passenger services. But it does use freight quite a lot. That's why there's only 4 trains per hour, because it shares it with freight. And even on the North London line, you see that because I think that's only 5 trains an hour at peak times, or 6 trains an hour, and then most of the time it's 4 trains an hour during the day, because they share it with freight. And so certainly when I would say you take the North London line, like you would see Class 66s thundering through with containers and all of that. So I assume this is similar. So there are some freight services you can do, and then there's a couple of rail tours. Like I think there's a steam rail tour and a couple of diesel rail tours, or maybe just the one, the 33. But like, you know, you get like, it's decent. I think it's a nicely modelled route as well, and it does actually give you that feeling of being on a North London commuter line. Because it is very green and lush. You wouldn't think it to be in the middle of London, but it really is. And then constantly peppered by the roofs of houses around. South Tottenham. See, I mean, we're not doing badly for time. There's a point at which you suddenly start struggling, but then probably towards the end you make it up easily. Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, there's been a couple of times where I think usually go in the other direction where I'm like, oh, I was doing so well, and now I'm doing so badly. Why? South Tottenham. There must be about a third of the way along the line now. There's not so many stations. I think it's like 16, if that. Or maybe it's 16 miles long. 16 has a significance in my mind for this route. Yeah, train full of people. These trains are always full. London Overground is always full of people. Nice horn. Doors closed by themselves. Which does happen in real life, if I remember correctly, but they shouldn't lock themselves like they do here. The driver should still have to be the one who like confirms that they're closed and then like unlock them. Otherwise, it's off we go. Because like with a lot of the London Overground trains, if they dwell at the platform for like 2 minutes or whatever, the doors close themselves eventually, and then so that goes on ahead to, I guess these are the lines that go into Liverpool Street, like the West Anglia lines or something. I guess I'm trying to think if this is East Coast Main Line. This must be that. Go 45, and then I guess we don't have a station coming up, so this must either be a tight curve or Weekbridge. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's an electrified line, so I'm guessing it's the line that goes into oh well, it could be the. I don't know, I'm trying to get my geography confused now, I think. It could be the line that goes into Moore Street, Great Northern Line maybe, but I think that goes to Finchley Park, so we'd already have passed that by now. I'm just going to guess that's the line that goes towards Hackney Downs and then into Liverpool Street, and then this is another line that branches off, that joins it at Hackney Downs. The line to Chingford maybe, and then this is the line to Stratford. Or maybe that's this. Oh, I don't know. I have a UK Rail Atlas somewhere. From before when this was electrified, but I guess all the connections would be the same. And this is Black Horse Road we're coming to. This means we're going through all the like North London reservoirs where all the water supply comes from. Wetlands. Highly recommend coming around here. Very beautiful on a summer's day. There's a old water treatment works in Hackney, in Clapton, Hackney. What do you call them? Hackney Flats? No, Hackney. God, what the hell do you call that? God, I used to go there every weekend. Hackney. It's not Hackney Downs. It's Hackney Marshes. Oh, look, see, we're late already, and we didn't do anything. So this is Black Horse Road. So I think over there is the Victoria Line station. This actually looks very much like a Victoria Line station building, actually, so it could be a connection that simple. Close. Yeah. If you've ever seen Victoria Line above ground buildings, sort of outside of central London, they all have this kind of brown brick, 70s brown brick. Stockwell is the same. Tottenham Hale is the same. Walthamstow. Well, Walthamstow's a bit different. Seven Sisters is the same. Walthamstow sort of was built to integrate with the railway a bit more, so it does. I think it doesn't have its own little building. I mean, you can see that they, I guess for sound purposes, they put these on concrete blocks around here, so they're not on ballast. That was all. That must have been all part because it was either closed permanently, like closed for like specifically them redoing the whole line while they electrified it, or they did it in rolling periods. Because it was one of those ones where it's like every weekend it was closed, at least. And I'm pretty sure they did some pretty hefty, like 6-week closures or something over summer. Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down. There we go. Oh, 45 seconds behind. God. Are these 4 cars or are they 3? I'm doubting myself now. No, they're 4. I was thinking, I'm only seeing three little indicators for when you pull into a platform. But no, and I'm pretty sure that the 7, the trains that were there before, the diesels, were only 2 cars as well. Oh, no, I forgot to close the bloody doors. Oh, going to be even more late now. Oh well. I think we can catch it up a little bit. Probably not supposed to be honking your horn in urban areas like this, but it's fictional. I can do what I want. You don't lose points for using your horn. That's the important thing. XP or whatever it's called. Action points, I think maybe they're called. Right. Leighton Midland. Why are you doing that? So yeah, we're sort of into northeast London now. Oh, East London. Leighton. And then Barking is where, close to where EastEnders is fictionally set. I'm trying to think. It's between. It's the Wolford is fictionally supposed to be in between East Ham and somewhere else, I think. Barking isn't apart from that. Obviously, if you actually know, it's actually filmed in northwest London. It's filmed in oh, I can't remember the name of the place now. Very suburban London. Hence why sometimes when they do like oh, we're going out of the square, and they go off the set to explore London, they don't seem to be in East London because it's filmed in North London, northwest London. Wish I could remember the name of the place. I did used to work in television. I used to work at the company that did all the transmission play out for BBC, so we were in the BBC Media Village with them. So there was a lot of that talk around there about, what was it called? Damn it. Because like the EastEnders set itself is like externally is built as like a full-scale set, like Coronation Street is. And Coronation Street's in Manchester, out by Salford Quay, or well, not technically in Manchester, it's in Salford, but in Greater Manchester. And that's now a full-scale set. But for years, it was like I think it was 80% size. And before that, if you ever watch old 70s episodes of Coronation Street, oh my god, the external sets were like ridiculous. They were like 40% scale. So like you'll see like Ivy Tills's front window or something is like her entire front room is like you could stretch out your arms from the outside, from her front door to the next door. You would be able to reach because it's so small. But EastEnders was built modern in the 80s, so it was all built at the right scale. And then Coronation Street was rebuilt in the about 10 years ago-ish. I also used to work at ITV. I got the chance to go up there and to Emmerdale. And now I work in video games, so what can I say? But I certainly don't live in London anymore. I live in Madrid. And I would love them to do a Madrid Cercanías commuter line. And because Spain, its railways are nationalised, if you do the trains for the commuters in one part of Spain, they use the same trains everywhere, pretty much. It's only in the north where some of the railways are meter gauge that they use different trains. And Catalonia has like a different branding, but otherwise they all use the same Cercanías branding, except for Catalonia, and they all use the same trains. In Catalonia, it's Rodaliles for its commuter services. And I now have a new office where I overlook the entrance to Atocha station, which is Madrid's main station, and like the center of Spain's high-speed railway network, which is the second largest in the world. So all day, every day, I can look out the window and see the high-speed trains coming and going. It's pretty amazing, I have to say. I guess it would be like working in those offices behind St. Pancras. But then not quite, because Atocha is like... it's currently going through... So it has like a ridiculous amount of platforms, like 20 or 16 or something that are high-speed platforms, and then it has a bunch of the sort of local regional platforms that use the standard, the Iberian gauge, and the high-speed network is all the standard gauge, like in the rest of Europe, they're currently just starting a project because they built a tunnel beneath Atocha that links it with Chamartin in the north. And so all the high-speed lines that go to the north of Spain, so to like Galicia and Castilla y Leon, and now to Asturias, all leave from the north of the north station, which is Chamartin, which is a very big 70 station, which is also getting a big overhaul at the moment. And then all the services that go to like Barcelona, Andalusia, Seville, that kind of places, and Valencia, they all leave from Atocha. So they built this tunnel to link the two, so that trains can sort of pass through Madrid. Oh no, no, no! Distracted by talking, okay, I'm just gonna have to do it because I don't want to reverse back past that thing that's now red, that signal. There's one door on the platform. So yeah, I'll just continue distracting myself by talking about Spanish railways. But yeah, so they're building this tunnel, but as it stands, it doesn't have any platforms at Atocha, so trains would stop at Chamartin, and then they would continue south without stopping at Atocha. But they are building, I think, 3 platforms or 4 underground on the tunnel, so that the trains that go into the underground tunnel will be able to stop at Atocha. And that will basically mean they'll be able to make... So at the moment, if you do a through train, you can only stop at Chamartin or Whereas now it can stop at both, which means that it might make long distance services between, say, Malaga and Bilbao, when that section finally opens, economically viable. So that would mean which would be pretty fascinating or brilliant when it does happen. But that's going to be a few years in the making, I think, because they had to build a new entrance and all of that, and I think they had to demolish the taxi rank and all of that that's on that side of the station. It certainly stands in stark contrast to the UK's cancellation of the useful bit of HS2. The bit that now they're just building a bloody... I've ranted about this in one of my other videos, I think. Now it's just a relief line for the West Coast Main Line. That's all it is. But it has no utility in and of itself other than for high-speed passenger services. Because no other trains other than the high-speed trains can use it. Which is a travesty in many ways. Because they could have literally just made it a West Coast Main Line relief line. In which case it would have been able to take freight and local services, and they could have linked it up with the Chiltern line, or provided some extra stations on the other side of Rugby and Coventry, or maybe something like that. And instead, nope, it's just between London and Birmingham. No new stops, no nothing. But it won't go to Manchester, so meh. I think this kind of malaise sets in in the UK, where it's just like, we can't do big infrastructure projects, so let's just give up. And then in Spain, like I was in the northwest in Galicia the past week, and infrastructure they're building and have built is stunning. Like miles and miles of underground tunnels so they can bring the high-speed trains into the centre of Vigo and Pontevedra. Real interesting stuff. Although I drove there because I had the dog with me, and Spain, that's the one bad thing about Spain's trains, they're not very friendly with dogs, so I had to go over there. Equally impressive motorways, which basically scale mountains, and then there are some long tunnels as well. Where are we? Barking. So this was the original terminus of the line, Goblin, until very recently. I think last year or so, last 2 years since Barking Riverside opened. And in real life, I think you'd be seeing the C2C services that go out towards Southend and Essex, and you'd see the District and Hammersmith and City lines. But as none of those trains are in the game, there's nada. You could put some Electrostars on there because I don't know. Actually, I don't think they use them anymore. You could use these. I think the C2C trains are basically very similar to these now. And maybe there's some Greater Anglia services that run through here, and they also use these trains nowadays. But they also use some Stadler flirts as well, which are very different. But yeah, either way, there's no AI here other than these trains and the freight services. So, I think there's like if you have the 1938 stock train from Rivet, that will run a few sort of historic services here. Okay, see, we're back on time now. Probably because I sped past that station and overran it massively, but I don't mind. I'm nearly a minute ahead now. That's great. And then we've only got one station left. And Barking is a really nice station. I mean, the kind of station most people would think is ugly because it's very 60s and concrete, but it's actually it's a listed building because it is like this. It has this very big concrete canopy, and it's all like molded concrete, and it all leads down into the canopies down here. This concrete, where's that? There, under here, concrete. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I like it. Oh, still got 30 seconds. Well, I'll open the doors then, I'll be nice. And these are based on the same, I can't remember what they're called, these the model of train these are. They're not Electrostars, this is like the Bombardier's new version of Electrostar, because they use them on Crossrail as well. But obviously they're 12 carriages long on Crossrail. Probably go faster than 75 miles an hour. Although I don't know actually, I don't know what the top speeds on Crossrail are. I guess in the tunnel sections they don't go that fast. But certainly when they're running on the main lines to Reading and stuff, it would be odd for them to be limited to 75. I think. Sheffield. Because the speeds, I mean, the speeds up to there. I mean, if you've got Great Western Express in this game, you'll know the speeds go up to, I think, on the fast lines they're 125, and on the slow lines they're at least 90. And I'd guess they're up to 100 now that it's been electrified and all zhuzhed up. To say, I don't know if I haven't been paying attention, but this line is notoriously bad for wayward NPCs to just walk onto the tracks when you're at a station. So yeah, like 60 miles an hour is as fast as we're going to get, and it's basically this stretch because it's new. But yeah, like you'll see the NPCs just walking out the doors of other trains on the track that are pulled up at stations and just falling onto the track. You'll be like, no, I'm going to run you over. So yeah, out we go, and then we're gonna go onto the new ramp that was built for Barking Riverside. Chan chan, chan chan, should appear around the corner. Yes, I think that's it. How have I managed to break this? Oh, there it is. There it is, yeah. Oop, I'm going too fast. Good thing about reactive brakes, though, at high speeds, they're super slow at low speeds, but they're really good at higher speeds. Up this new ramp we go. There we go. Glorious light industrial East London. I think this is HS2 as well. Is it? No, it's not, is it? No. HS2 is underground. That's the container port that leads into HS2. Yeah, because London Gateway, I think, is here, and that's where the freight line links with HS1. Yeah, that electric line, I think, is maybe part of the C2C network. 25, I guess, to switch over to the other platform. Here we go. Here we are in Barking Riverside. Glorious. I mean, it is just new houses being built. Cranes. It was nothing. It was there. Here we are. Bring that down nice and slowly. Don't want to run into the buffers, so... Oh, I've got plenty of time. Here we are. I'm going to just take a picture before that other train leaves. So I've got something. Oh, I've got that bloody... I thought I'd turn that off, the stop indicator. Well, let me try it from over here. We have two trains, yeah. It's quite nice. Oh, got ages yet. Got like a minute and a half before we would do. Well, I got here early. That's the important thing then, I guess. Yes, the glorious Barking Riverside. There is the River Thames. Oh gosh, lots and lots of overspeeds. But I got a platinum nevertheless because they were all minor. There was only one truly awful 78-yard overrun of the stop. Continue. I'm going to return to free roam. Actually, maybe because I want. Maybe this is a nice picture to have. Maybe it'll work. Out. So yeah, I can just go to the other end of the train now and run it all the way back if I wanted, which I do not want to do. I'm starting to feel a bit sleepy. It's a bank holiday weekend. I've had a long, long week, and I want to be very relaxed before I go back to work. Bye-bye, train. Yes. So yeah, there's not much around here, this area, because it's all in the process of being built. So there's just like construction equipment and things to help build the area, and eventually it'll all just be a sort of maze of new build flats, and I guess there'll be schools and stuff like that. You're supposed to be able to use the lifts. Oh yeah, you can. We'll go downstairs, see what's down there. Oop, here it is. Get in. Doors closing. This is very familiar from the London Overground generally. Because some of these London Line stations, I don't think they have escalators. I think, which one is it? Like Wapping and Rotherhithe they don't have escalators, so you either walk up the stairs, or you get the escalator, and they have these kind of these elevators, the lifts with these glass doors and blah blah. There's a few times going back from holiday as well that I used the lift at Dalston Junction. It's had a heavy bag or something. Oh, floaty car. It's all happening in Barking, isn't it? Land of Dreams. Don't see Albert Square. Right, well, I think I could mumble on for a while more, but I think I'll leave it there. And I will have a think about what other content I want to make. Because I mean, at the moment I'm just sort of waiting for when a route that I like comes out, and I'm sort of posting a video when I can. But like the so many things that I keep placing without even realizing it. But really, there isn't a high enough cadence of new content because, you know, it takes them like 3 or 4 months to build a new route. And then some of those routes are like the recent German routes where I'm not very enthusiastic, or I don't really know what to say about them. But I might just start like with a formation planner, or designer, formation designer and scenario planner, maybe making use of some other new routes that I haven't made videos on yet. Or just routes that I've never made videos on before, even if they're old. And I think, yeah, that's what I'll be doing, because I don't think there's any new routes after this for a while. Certainly no new British routes. I think there's an American route that's like the San Bernardino route, but using the Baby Bullet, or a different version of the Baby Bullet. And there's an Austrian route coming. I don't know if I think that one is from Dovetail. And there's a there's a Japanese route coming, but that's from a different third party altogether that like hasn't mentioned anything. And then River are making some extension to the 5 Circle, a short extension for a branch line, and added some services. And there's a DLC coming for that line too, for the diesel. What is it? The Sprinter, 158, 159. But yeah, it's few and far between. And yeah, I would like to make some more videos. So yeah, I'll start having a look at maybe using free roam to put some trains in places they don't naturally fit, or where they do naturally fit but they don't have a timetable for them. Or maybe I'll create some scenarios. We'll see. But for now, enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed your Easter, and enjoy the slog of returning to work. So for now, bye. Hasta luego. Oh no, my mouse is trapped. Right. Bye.